AI is going to become so heavily used in the fashion industry.
Stop hiring humans. That's the tagline of Artisan in AI startup. That's the tagline of Artisan in AI startup.
Hello everyone, hi and welcome to today's video. Today I will be discussing AI and Lolita fashion, and it will be a more uncomfortable video to make. It will go into some deeper topics at the end, and I will be putting a trigger warning before that section starts because it might actually be a little bit uncomfortable for people to watch. We have to talk about why AI is bad. Now, most of you probably know this already, but I'm gonna talk about it anyway. AI generated images specifically and AI generated art is basically just a mumbo jumbo of stolen artwork by non-consenting artists and people. You might be thinking, isn't this some kind of copyright issue? And it should be, but right now AI is so unregulated in so many countries, or the majority of countries, that it's kind of doing whatever it wants. So why am I talking about AI and Lolita? Like, how did I get here? It all started with one JSK that led me down a rabbit hole. And I found this Royal Princess Alice JSK. And I'm just gonna show you the JSK. It looks quite nice, doesn't it? I love the details of the lace. I think the construction of the JSK is really, really pretty. And then you zoom in and you take a look at the print. And suddenly, everything looks a little bit off. Not only is every single one of those cats looking completely different than the other, some look more cartoonish than others. The details, and especially that one cat that has weird flowers on its chest? Like, who would design it like that? This is most definitely not created by a real person. And most people have a consistent art style. Like, even though the cats might have different hairstyles or different fur textures, the cats still look, generally speaking, the same. And in this piece, they are all very off from one another. Were they upfront about it? Were they disclosing that that was AI generated? No. They were actively, in that comment section, deleting people who mentioned that this print was AI generated. So they really gently tried to sweep it under the rug. Really good for your brand, Alice. Love that. Definitely makes me want to buy there for sure. It gets worse. This is not an isolated incident that a brand has used AI to create their pieces. Another brand hasn't been exposed, but rather exposed themselves for being pro-AI and saying fuck you to artistry. And that brand is Souffle Song Lolita. A year or two ago, basically posted this. Openly stated that they have utilized the AI tool Midjourney to create this dress. And I quote, "This is our new attempt using AI design. Our artists use Midjourney commercial membership, and the design theme is designed as classical oil painting style, which has been adjusted and modified to create. Now we sincerely invite some users to try our new products for free." Products with an S, that means there's multiple. "After receiving the goods, please take a photo of the artwork and return to us. If you are interested, you can contact us privately to register." I'm gonna be so upfront right now. If I look at this piece, I don't even know what I'm looking at. And I'm trying to give it the benefit of the doubt. I am an AI hater. The construction of the dress, or the skirt, I think it is a skirt, I don't know, horrendous. The lace, I don't even know what they did there. But the image, I have no idea what this is supposed to be. I don't know what I'm looking at. I get maybe slightly oil painting vibes here. Is it a flower? Is it a person? Is it, what is it? What am I looking at? There's some weird statue? Like, I don't know what the theme is, and I don't want to wear this. Like, you cannot force me to wear this dress. Ironic part of this all, that they used our artists. I'm sorry, you are not an artist if you utilize a tool like Midjourney. No, you are not. I hate to break it to you, but typing in a prompt and getting some garbage spit out doesn't make you an artist. But this is, for now, the brand, or the first brand, that has openly admitted to using generative AI as a product. And yes, it is free because they are testing the waters. They are trying to see if the community is ready for some AI garbage. I'm hoping that this wasn't very popular. Manifesting. I also want to say, if you thought replicas were bad in the early 2000s and 2010s, get ready for that to get a million times worse. Because I believe that especially these knockoff companies that don't give a shit about ethical consumption, ethical materials, or anything like that, because they just want to rip it off and make an extra buck, they can utilize these tools so easily and basically replicate something one to one. Now let's dive into another part of the AI conversation. That has to do with generating your own dresses. Now, I have seen many Reddit posts basically saying, look, I generated this beautiful mess of sweet and gothic Lolita dresses. Look how this person's face is completely missing, and look how everything looks like a conjunction of any image on the internet ever. But wow, isn't this great? Technology is the best thing ever! Yay! You might be thinking I'm being too harsh on these people. Maybe some of them are young, or maybe even children, or maybe some of them don't know any better, and they simply wanted to try something lighthearted. And I agree. I don't want to hate on these people individually. I don't want to make fun of them, but I want to call out that this is just the tip of the iceberg. Generating a harmless dinosaur dress may be silly and kind of cute. This is not original art that you are creating. First of all, you're not creating anything, the AI is, but this is not something unique or new. Even though the dinosaur dress might not physically exist, it is probably a conjunction of many things that it has been trained on. And that leads me to a discussion on, there is a website where you can check that out actually, and I suggest that you do. The website is called Have I Been Trained, and I looked up Lolita, Sweet Lolita, and Gothic Lolita, and found many concerning images of probably many people that don't even know that they have been used to train AI models. Really concerning to see. These are real people who are probably clueless that they have been used as a material to make AI better. If you are trying to defend these, smaller companies that are using AI, like, let them live. They're just trying to create something new. They're just trying to create with the resources that they have. I want to let you know and educate you that there's many different ways they can utilize free or relatively cheap domains on the internet. There's many Taobao brands that have already utilized this, which is why you see many dresses with similar characters, similar designs, similar patterns. It's just something free to use. There's also a blog article that I found covering this exact topic, so if you're interested, definitely check it out. And it also touches on something that I found really interesting. 3D model / maybe AI of another certain print. It gets to a point where it's really hard to distinguish, and especially in this instant, I don't even know myself personally if this is AI. And I fear this might only become more difficult in the future. Now, while something like this Ella's dress that has this very clear and obvious AI almost like filter on it, some of these other images, especially if they're trying to be hyper realistic, sometimes look like 3D models. It's really for you to judge. So how does the iceberg go deeper when it comes to generative AI and you trying to generate a cute little dress to literal corn? And again, here is where I put a slight trigger warning in, because I will be talking about a little bit more of a touchy subject regarding some lolly stuff. If you type in Lolita fashion AI generated, the first 2 or 3 images are relatively tame, and they are literally just showing a person wearing a weird dress that looks kind of all over the place, but it's trying to be Lolita, and I'll give them credit for that. However, you start to scroll. You very quickly start to realize that there's very much a correlation between Lolita fashion and little girls. Why is that an issue? Well, Lolita fashion is already a huge target when it comes to sexualization and when it comes to sexualization. For some reason, the average person cannot distinguish people liking cute things, frilly things, and, little bears and stuffies, and sexualization or trying to be bait. many people think that we are trying to look like girls and trying to put ourselves out there for a certain target audience, if you get my drift. So beyond disgusting to me that now AI, which for some reason is allowed to do this and spit out little girl in Lolita core fashion. See Girls, Gothic Lolita AI work by Lolly Montgomery to put children into these poses. I know technically it doesn't have an age because it's not real, but this is content. This is on the expense of our fashion style content, polar opposite of what our fashion style is trying to convey. This, to me, is so dark, and this is just what Google spits out. I don't want to know how much darker and deeper this goes. Lolita fashion has always been, compared to the book, compared to the movie, especially on TikTok, people don't seem to understand that these things are separate. There's also one beloved reseller that has been caught using AI for an advertisement. And I hate to say it, but it was 42 Lolita. 42 Lolita is very beloved by many Lolitas, is one of the most popular resellers, most recommended resellers, and they were caught using an AI generated image for Halloween of all holidays. Was to me quite shocking. I didn't know that that even happened. First glance, you might not realize it is AI, but then you zoom in and you can tell that the fencing is slightly off. The pumpkins are weird. Look at the pumpkin in the bag. That one's very strange looking. Again, AI cannot do the details right, at least as far as we have it right now. Even somebody as big as 42 Lolita, who's a very popular and very, very wealthy reseller, they couldn't have just hired an artist. I don't know. To me, this is very lazy. To me, this is a slap in the face to artists. To me, this is something I don't want to support. I don't know if 42 Lolita has ever done it again or will do it again. As far as I've seen it, they haven't. But it worries me for our future. It worries me for the ethics that are coming into Lolita, the questions that we have to ask ourselves, whether or not they are going to be upfront with using AI. We probably will have to take a closer look at every single Taobao release, every single brand release, because they may or may not be utilizing AI.
I also found this Reddit thread where somebody generated AI images based on popular brands, and just take a look at them. You see a couple similarities, one being a somewhat figure standing in the center or on the left or on the right side, and to be honest, I do not see the brands represented in these images at all. I don't want to ruin anybody's fun, but this is just not it.
Now it's more important than ever to have a more critical eye and critical lens to anything you see online. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it was kind of all over the place, but I still hope you got to take away one or two things. I know it's a little bit negative, but I felt really compelled to talk about it. Check out the blogs that I mentioned, and yeah, thank you guys so much for the support. We hit almost 1K. It's crazy. Love you all so much, and yeah. Bye-bye!